Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Bear Reviews back at you today with another one. And what I'm looking at is Anchor Steam Beer from Anchor Brewing Company out of San Francisco, California. I may have had this beer once before on draft years ago, but I don't believe I've ever had it out of the bottle, and I really don't remember too much about this beer. So this might as well be the first time. It's an iconic beer brand, Anchor, and the Anchor Steam Beer is one of the big three in the craft beer world. You have the Samuel Adams Boston Lager, the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and the Anchor Steam Beer. Kind of kickstarted the craft beer movement. This particular beer, like I said, it was first brewed, or I may not have said this yet. It was first brewed in 1896. It says on the website, first modern bottling was in 1971. It is 4.9% alcohol by volume. It's available year round. The malt that they use is a blend of two-row pale and caramel, and the hops are Northern Brewer hops, which are the same hops that they use in the Anchor Porter, which I had a few days ago and reviewed. So this beer it's been very popular over the years. Like I said, kind of one of the pioneers of the craft beer movement. Anchor Brewing Company out of San Francisco, California. This particular beer, by the way, too, the label is just classic. I love the Anchor, just classic label design. Relatively simple for a craft beer. Nowadays, you see all these weird cartoons and just all this trippy stuff going on labels. Just a classic label, guys, and I appreciate that. So this beer has won several awards over the years. Of course, the biggest awards coming from the Great American Beer Festival. That's you know recognized as a very prestigious um, festival. Back in 1987, it won silver in the Continental Amber Lager category, and in 1992, it won a bronze medal for Vienna uh, Lager, or in the Vienna category. It doesn't say Vienna Lager, it just says Vienna. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. I cannot hold that anymore. I'm very excited about this beer. It was bottled on April 5th, 2019, so relatively fresh. Here's the pour. Nice copper color, about a 3-finger head. Poured it pretty aggressively there at the end. The head is also slightly off-white, not quite tan, but I guess you could say it's khaki. All right, nice and pillowy as well, as you can see there. Very good looking beer in the glass. You got some streaming bubbles going up the glass as well. Very, very clear, very filtered. You could see right through it. The aroma, very nice. You're definitely getting the barley malt. A very lightly toasted bread note, so it's the barley malt, I believe, is slightly roasted. As you can see, it is a little bit darker than a standard beer. Yeah, very light roast to it. You're definitely getting those nice bready notes, toasted bread notes on the aroma. A little bit of an earthy note from the hops, which I was picking up with the Anchor Porter as well. So I could tell they're using the same hops just because that little bit of a hop aroma that I do get reminds me a lot of the Anchor Porter. Those hops are coming through nicely, but it doesn't smell like it's going to be a bitter beer by any means. It smells pretty nicely balanced, but more malt forward for sure than hop forward. Little caramel notes as well. It smells good. Lightly roasty, um, bready, a little earthy from the hops. Nice and yeah, Nice aroma, to say the least. So without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers, guys. That is a winner. Barley malt, first and foremost. Nice and bready in the middle of the sip. Lightly toasted bread from the lightly toasted barley malt that's in here. The hops and a nice little earthy note on the finish. It is slightly bitter, but it's really not that bitter. Um, it's a very well balanced beer. It does not say on the website what the IBUs are. I don't know why they don't list it. And it's certainly not on the label. I've noticed that Anchor beers, the porter and now the Anchor Steam, they don't put the alcohol or the IBUs on the label, which I find very surprising, especially the alcohol. Maybe the IBUs not so much, but the alcohol. This is one of the only companies I've ever had beer from where they don't put the ABV on the label. Anyway, if I had to guess, I would say the IBUs are probably between 30 and 40. There is a nice hop presence, especially on the finish. It does have a nice little bittering note to it, but it's not really a super bitter beer. It's more malt forward, and then the bitterness balances it out. So it's very well balanced. Um, it's definitely not in the pale ale or IPA range with the bitterness for sure, at least not for my palate. So the body is light. The carbonation is medium to almost high. It's very prickly. It's very carbonated. Nice fine bubbles for sure with this one. You got some nice lacing going around the glass. Excellent appearance, excellent taste, excellent finish, well balanced. The finish is crisp, clean, refreshing, dry. Sessionability is pretty dang high with this one at 4.9% alcohol. The bitterness doesn't really linger. It's there and then it drops off nicely. So the bitterness isn't going to build up or anything and make it undrinkable for me. But like I said, it's really not that bitter of a beer. But it does have some good hop presence on the finish for sure. Um, it's excellent, guys. Nicely rounded. I can see why it's done well in competition over the years and why it's a staple in the craft beer world. It kind of has more flavor than most of your macro stuff. It's got those lightly toasted bread notes. You get more hop character, a little bit of caramel on the palate as well from the roast. It's really nice, which I think they use the caramel malt in there too, if I read that correctly. Yeah, a blend of two-row pale and caramel malt. So the caramel malt gives it a nice little depth of flavor, a little bit of sweetness. It's just excellent all the way around. It's been a long day, so I feel like I'm just kind of blabbing on a little bit, which I am. 8.5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It's a 96 out of 100 for me. It's excellent. It's getting up there towards world class. I would highly recommend it if you've never had it before. It is a staple, like I said. It's been around for a very long time. They obviously know what they're doing with this beer. Um, I bought a single in a make your own 6-pack variety pack, so I'm not sure what the normal price for a 6-pack is, but I believe it's $9.99 for a 6-pack, which is not too bad for a craft beer of this caliber. So 96 out of 100 for the Anchor Steam beer. That'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a great day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.